Because, ladies and gentlemen, we want you to stand and we want you to make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast. It is show time at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got them for a breath. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy, because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello again. It's Wing Nation presented by Drydene DRF Racing and by Hercules Tires, our podcast edition. And we are so glad you joined us talking sprint car racing. Yeah, it is our favorite time of the week. We just can't wait to get back to our favorite time of the week as far as real-time racing goes. During this down period, we're spending a little time social distancing, and we're spending some time looking back on some of the great interviews that we have had over the course of time. Now, those of you that follow along with all of our programs know that Ashley Stremme, she is the co-host of our MAV TV show. She is a proud Port Royal girl, and a lot of good stuff has been happening up at Port Royal Speedway, including a great racing surface. So in just a little bit, we're going to hear from the man responsible for that, Steve Stimely, is one of the really neat characters and good guys in the sport. So looking forward to that. Another good guy and a real character is Rico Abreu. Oh, have you been following him on social media? Well, I'll tell you what, Rico has his website, shoprico.com. And, of course, that's the only thing rolling now is Rico's van is not rolling because, well, we're not racing. So Rico is a man of the people, and he is all about getting your stuff to you, as he shows us in this video. It's our Drydene Diesel all death-defying move of the week.
And now for the Drydene death-defying move of the week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves. That death-defying move was brought to you by Drydene Diesel All Death, the official death of the world of outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Drydene.com for more information.
Welcome back. It's the Wing Nation podcast presented by Drydene DRF Racing Oil and by Hercules Tires. Steve Stimely going to join us here or share an interview with him from last year up at his beloved Port Royal Speedway. You know, just like racing components, Aggressive Hydraulic Purpose builds hydraulic cylinders to perform for customer-specific applications, and hydraulics are for virtually every industry that uses hydraulic cylinders. It's amazing what all they do up at Aggressive Hydraulics, that is, and they go with the no one-size-fits-all approach. They custom make. They proudly design and manufacture all the cylinders here in the United States, and you can check out in a video that shows much more of what they do at aggressivehydraulics.com. That's aggressivehydraulics.com. Proud sponsor of Ryan Newman at the Chili Bowl and all of his short track racing when Ryan gets back to those activities, which we can't wait for that to happen as well. One of the things I love about Aggressive Hydraulics is the no one-size-fits-all approach, and I think when we look at racetrack preparation, no one-size-fits-all approach works as far as track prep. What might work at Chico will not work at Williams Grove, and that certainly won't work at Knoxville or up at Attica Raceway Park. So a team that works a racetrack has to know their facility. They have to know the dirt. They have to know everything about it, and nobody has done a better job over the last few years than the team at the Speed Palace, Port Royal Speedway. And our Ashley Stremme last year up at Port Royal caught up with the main man, Steve Stimely, who handles track prep up at Port Royal.
Hey, I'm Ashley Ashley Stremme, and we're here at the Speed Palace, Port Royal Speedway. Extremely excited to sit down and talk with Steve Stimely. Steve, your addition here at this Speedway is one that I don't think people actually realize. You hold a steering wheel on this racetrack probably more than anyone else, between the grader, the water truck, the tractor, and of course you lead the Razor Pack when it comes to the side-by-sides. But Steve, your involvement here at the racetrack, why are you so passionate about this Speedway? Why do you put so much time and effort into this place?
Well, my goal, Ash, is I just want them people in them stands to see a damn good race, because we like the sprint car racing, and it's sort of a dying sport, so we're bringing it back alive. This dirt racing is unreal if we can do the track right to make the people happy in the stands. The drivers will be happy.
And what does that take from your side of things? Obviously track prep is huge, what you're working with, the equipment that you're using, and I really want to go back to that real quick. A lot of this stuff, the golf carts that you see flying around this place, the side-by-sides, you put so much of your very own money into this place to make it what it's become, and I don't think people really realize how much you pour your heart and soul into this place. How many hours a week do you spend here?
Normally 5 to 6 days a week. Hours, I can't actually count them, but this is my goal and it's my passion. Like you said, it's just to make good dirt racing, and that's what it's all about.
So take me through what a week looks like for you here. You know, does Monday start off with grading the track? Does it start on Sunday? Does it start Saturday night?
Well, it actually starts Sunday morning.
Okay.
Which I know I should be in church, but my wife tells me so. But I have to grade the track while it's still moist. Like tonight, of course, we'll be grading the track right after the race for tomorrow's show. And we actually open it up slightly with cuts so it can create a trough so it don't wash the good clay away, and to have the rains during the week soak into the clay. The idea is to definitely keep the clay moist and water it early and keep it moist. Not overly wet, but just keep it moist as much as you can for preparation during the week.
All right, so 5 to 6 days a week of just track maintenance. And there's always something new every single year. You guys are, the resurgence that this place has seen in the last 5 to 8 years has truly been phenomenal. And it's a solid core of you guys that are really at the forefront making this happen. But what do you think is really continuing to make that effort each and every year to bring something new, to bring that resurgence, that excitement that brings these fans here each and every week?
Well, I guess we're all race fans. There's 20 of us on the board, the fair board here, and we all have a passion for racing. Whether it's one guy who's good with electricity, another guy might be good for signage. We all put our thoughts together and we work together great, and nobody gets paid anything on the fair board, and we just have a real passion for good racing, because this place just about folded up, as you know, about 10 years ago.
It's so true. It's crazy to see how things have changed here. And like you said, it is all about the passion. That's what keeps this place going, and what makes you guys keep driving each and every week to bring the best thing possible each and every year. And that's what I really wanted to ask you is, what is the new thing? What are the plans for next year that we're kind of maybe just rumblings right at the moment, but we know we're going to work on in the off season to really continue to keep this growth going here at Port Royal Speedway?
Well, how do you know that?
Because I know. It helps when you're an insider, and you know, this is my home track, and I know what you guys are up to, and have things up your sleeves, and I don't want you to hand out all the cards. I don't expect that, but what's the one thing that we're really working on here?
Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're making a secondary road that's going to be 2-lane around the backstretch and around turn 3 and 4, for the reason of accessing the backstretch and starting engines at any given time. And if a guy blows a motor, of course he can try the engine out. And it's also to catch all the debris that we put through the windows and storm doors over on 4th Street. And the siding jobs that we put on. USAC's pretty hard on them houses right at the moment. But we're going to end up with 18 big billboards on the entry. So if anybody wants to advertise for $2,500 a year for a 14 by 28, we'll have 18 available on the backstretch probably in about a month.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
It's very exciting.
Excellent.
And we're getting a stormwater project which takes care of all the stormwater for the property so we can build. And we're putting a new bathroom in the pits within the next 2 months and another one in the infield, and going to change maybe things around in a year or so in the infield. The fans will never ever think they've had it so nice.
Well, that's awesome. It just makes my heart explode to know that things are just continuing to go forward and push forward and really be the premier track of Central Pennsylvania. And if I could, in your perfect world, what do you really predict of this track? Is, you know, and it doesn't have to be the next year or two, 5, 10 years down the road. Ideally, would you love to put suites up here in turns 3 and 4? What are some big projects that you'd really like to see happen here?
Well, we'll have to talk about that later.
I love it. No secrets are being shared too much, too deep there. But Steve, your passion, obviously, outside of Port Royal Speedway, it really goes back a long time. You raced yourself. You've done a lot. Where did it really?
I cost your father over $500,000.
Yes, you did. Steve is to blame for.
Into it.
Absolutely, you're to blame for the bug biting my father years and years and years ago.
Yes.
But where did the passion really? Where did the bug bite you?
Well,
when
at
it
5
comes to
years
racing?
old, like a lot of young kids today, started out in a quarter midget, and believe it or not, Johnny Heidreich and I raced together when we were 5 years old.
Absolutely love it. It just kind of springboard from there.
Started from there.
Mini sprints.
Micros, mini sprints. I built over 150 micros myself, and including Banana Speedway, helped both Hill Valley and Path Valley. And it's just been a goal to make good racing, and that's my passion of living.
I love it. I truly love it. What if you weren't involved with racing all your life? What would you think you'd be doing right now?
I have no idea.
I love it. It truly consumes you. And Steve, your passion is huge, and we all know it. And that's really why I wanted to chat with you today, because it's absolutely phenomenal. You know, Steve O'Neill, he's the
5 Steves.
That's right, exactly. There's 5 Steves here that are dug deep into the roots of Port Royal Speedway, and without you guys, it's truly wouldn't be what it is today. And I personally thank you, and I know the fans do, and I can't wait to see what the rest of this is.
We thank you all so much. We just have a passion for this place and sprint car racing, and believe it or not, I'm not a late model fan, but they race hard here. Everybody seems to like this place for late models. Even your husband likes it for modifieds.
Absolutely.
So,
the late model racing has been very, very good here lately.
Yes.
But even Dad has told me, he's like, man, I'd love to get back out on that racetrack because the surface is absolutely phenomenal.
That's what Keith Kaufman says. Why in the hell didn't you give me a track like this when I raced?
It's so true. Well, there you have it. Just a little bit about the ins and outs of Port Royal Speedway. And Steve, always a pleasure to catch up with you. And thank you so much. Absolutely.
Appreciate
there you have it.
One of my favorite people. Love when I get a chance to catch up with Steve Stimely and talk a little sprint car racing. The man certainly has a passion for it, as he also has the passion for the clay at Port Royal. Hey, we need to step away. More Wing Nation in just a moment.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain. And we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
It's the Wing Nation podcast presented by Drydene, DRF Racing Oils, and by Hercules Tires. So glad you joined us, Steve Post here. We're kind of recapping some things as we all practice our social distancing here over this course of time, and just love getting the chance to look back at some of these interviews and hearing from some of our friends from past conversations. Now, coming up in the future, we have got Kyle Larson. He joins us on Saturday morning. Yes, Kyle Larson, and this is fresh off from his race in that iRacing thing with NASCAR. So a fresh interview with Kyle Larson this week. He will join us on Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit on MAV TV. That's 7:30 and 10:30 Eastern Time. Hey, I'm Steve Post. Thanks for joining us here on our Wing Nation podcast presented by Drydene DRF Oils and by Hercules Tires.
This has been the Wing Nation podcast. Find Wing Nation on wingnation.com, Facebook, YouTube, or your favorite podcast provider. The Wing Nation podcast is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.